Kiwis love being outdoors, so why not transform your outdoor living space with a Sunview? With our quality range of stylish pergolas, outdoor blinds and awnings, having a Sunview is like adding a new room to your home, but for a fraction of the price. Enjoy the outdoors all year round with a range of products to suit your needs. Book a free consultation now with Sunview and see the difference.
Well, if you've been behind the Herald's paywall or listening to the whinging socialists on Media Watch from Radio New Zealand on a Sunday morning, you will be aware that there has been a battle raging for the soul of one of our largest media companies, that being NZME, an organisation that, of course, operates half our commercial radio stations, including the wildly commercially successful News Talk ZB, and the Herald, really now our newspaper of record in New Zealand. Just to briefly recap, an expatriate Canadian billionaire called Jim Grennan, described as conservative or socially conservative, bought a not majority but a significant stakeholding in the company, talked to some other shareholders and said that he wanted to remove the entire board, including Chairman Barbara Chapman of NZME, become the chairman himself, and usher in a new era of commercial reality and non-wokeness. I think it would be fair to say non-wokeness in the Herald. Well, the forces that be, the ETU union headed by a former Labour cabinet minister, the Wokesters, the Pearl Clutchers, and Barbara Chapman, the chair of NZME herself, mounted a spirited defence of a move they said would destroy journalism and democracy in New Zealand. And it would seem to me, after a compromise deal last week, that they have won. Whilst Barbara Chapman, patron of Rainbow Tick, will step down, she will be replaced by Stephen Joyce, who was nominated by her husband. Mr. Grennan will not be the chair of NZME, and indeed, I think at least half of the current board members will remain in place. Mr. Grennan gets a couple of seats maybe on the board and a seat on a new editorial board. But really, I have to say, do not hold your breath if you're expecting the Herald to be less woke than it has become. If you expect our major newspaper to not say it won't run ads on behalf of the Jewish community, but run them on behalf of idiots like John Minto, not to refuse to run ads by Hobson's Pledge, but happy to run ads by the Maori Party that encourage separation and division in New Zealand. Much of what has gone on in this battle for NZME has been subject to various legal restrictions in terms of speaking publicly. But now that it is all over, we are joined by one of those who was involved. He is the head of an investment bank and finance company called Kiwi Finance. His name is Troy Bowker, and he joins us by phone now. Troy, good morning to you.
Oh, good morning, Sean. It's actually Kiwi Capital Partners.
Kiwi Capital Partners, sorry.
Yep.
Look, this is a loss, isn't it?
Oh, look, I don't call it. I don't look at it that way. I think it's the game is only really just getting started.
So it's not a win then?
Well, look, I don't. As I say, I think the analogy I would use is it's a drink. It's a drinks break at half time. We're not through. This is not the battle. Isn't the battle as it were against woke is really only just getting started. The first step we wanted to achieve, well, I wanted to achieve, is change of chair. Now, if we could achieve a full board removal and replacement with other people more skilled and more, I guess, a fresh set of eyes and ears, that would have been a great outcome. Now, the chair's gone, and she, in my opinion, she was the major problem with NZME for a number of years. But there are obviously a number of problems beneath the board level, which that will take a lot longer to fix, particularly at the Herald. and particularly, editorial decision making, and the so-called all the catchphrases they use these days, shaping the narrative and setting the agenda and manipulation, in my opinion, of their own truth. The truth seekers, as they say, it's not truth seeking. It's just basically making things up.
Will the Herald remain rainbow ticked?
Look, I can't answer that, Sean. That's up to the new board, which I'm not on. And I don't know. I would hope that Stephen Joyce, a man with his experience and and backgrounds, would know better than to align himself with what I think Rainbow Tick is is quite clearly a political organisation with a political agenda, and it's been used and hijacked, by the woke ideology in New Zealand, and really it's a political organisation. So I would hope that NZME doesn't continue to align itself with something like that.
Okay. Do you believe that the Herald will be more impartial in terms of covering issues around the treaty and race as a result of these changes?
Well, I think the Herald will become more impartial, and I think covering the treaty and race will become more balanced. Now, when that happens, and the speed of that change remains to be seen. Phil Crump will be part of the editorial board. I don't know the makeup of the other members of that board. Now, he's not a man that's woke, and you would have seen his writing. And I would, and I know Jim definitely isn't woke. Now, I would hope that Stephen would be.
Yeah, but how can you have any trust in Stephen Joyce? He's got a long record in the established news media that went woke. He is friends with existing board members, and he was nominated by the husband of Barbara Chapman.
Yeah, that's unusual. But I just want to there's something that hasn't been reported properly on this yet, is that Stephen was actually first approached by shareholders, including myself, last year as a potential person that could step in as an independent chair, and to replace Barbara Chapman. Now, as things transpired, the board, I think it was an own goal on Barbara's actually behalf, because Barbara thought that by talking to Stephen, and the current board thought that by talking to Stephen, that might actually help their cause. But, Stephen's an individual, reasonable, balanced person, and I think he saw that he needed to, unify and make changes, and it didn't work out on the way Barbara had expected to work out, because she's gone.
All right. Look, I want to talk about the process of the last few months quickly, and I do not want to get you sent to prison or fined $300,000. There was an investigation into this by the Takeovers panel. They launched an investigation that I understand is only the second time such an investigation had been launched in like 30 years or something. Yeah,
this particular investigation, the type of investigation, is very, very infrequently used.
Okay, and they had some pretty major powers to A, shut all the players up, and B, make you answer their questions.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That was you get summoned, and you give evidence under oath, and they just they can discover a whole lot of information.
Yeah, was it a pleasant process that?
No, not at all. It was a complete waste of time, in my opinion. It was a complete waste of time.
Why did that investigate? Who prompted that investigation?
Oh, look, I have no idea. The Takeover panel operate independently, and
come on, we can both say it was probably Barbara Chapman, the chairman of your own board, who called them in, wasn't it?
Look, the chairman. I don't know, Sean. I would look. It was to me. It was unnecessary. It was the first time or second time it's been used in 15, 20 years or something like that. It's very, very unusual for the Takeover panel to look at a question of whether shareholders can talk to each other, right? That's
Yeah.
bottom.
Well,
I mean,
everyone
you can
can
bump
talk to
into
each
anyone.
other. Yeah.
You can bump into anyone at any time, and just because they might happen to have some shares in a company, and just because collectively you might go up against that 20% rule, which is what they were looking at. You're allowed to talk to them. Now, that's all that was happening, was that shareholders independently had come to a view that needed to be changes, and were talking to each other. Now, they actually found that Soferia, because Soferia...
this is the large Australian investors. They're the single largest investor, 19% or something.
They're a fund, and so they operate under different rules, they're, as opposed to private individuals like myself. So they're on 19.9%. So if anyone is found to be acting in association with them, with any shareholding, they obviously breach the 20% rule. Means that you can't hold more.
Well, I don't want to get
you can't hold
overly
more than
technical.
20%.
Yeah. But they found no case in the end.
They found no case.
Kiwis love being outdoors, so why not transform your outdoor living space with a sun view? With our quality range of stylish pergolas, outdoor blinds and awnings, having a sun view is like adding a new room to your home, but for a fraction of the price. Enjoy the outdoors all year round with a range of products to suit your needs. Book a free consultation now with SunView and see the difference.